So before we get started with the presentation, I'm going to do a couple poll questions, and then I'll go ahead and introduce our presenters. So let's start with the polls. Okay, we're going to launch. There's going to be two questions. We're going to launch the first one. Which statement best describes you? Please select one of the following. So obviously surrounding cancer treatments, this is what this webinar is about. I have not yet started treatment. I am currently in treatment. I have completed treatment. I am a caregiver or co-survivor, or I am a healthcare professional. So if you'd like to go ahead and start responding, we will take a few minutes and see what our answer is. And I'll give everyone just another few seconds. Okay, and we'll go ahead and close the poll. Okay, so it looks like we have a majority of you, or 93% of you are healthcare professionals, and 7% of you are caregivers or co-survivors. So looks like we have most people on the webinar are looking to help others, whether they are your family members or your patients or your clients. So hopefully this will be informative for you. Okay, and we're going to do one more question. How do you get most of your information about cancer? Please select one of the following. Searching on the internet, asking my medical team, discussing with survivor friends through an advocacy organization. So go ahead and start responding, and we'll give everyone a little bit of time. Okay, a few more seconds. And we will go ahead and close the poll. Okay, 52% searching on the internet, 30% asking my medical team, 5% discussing with survivor friends, and 14% through an advocacy organization. So that's pretty split with our audience. Okay, so with that, we will get started. This webinar is about navigating a cancer diagnosis. We have two great presenters from PearlPoint Cancer Support. This is an organization that provides personalized guidance and compassionate support to any adult impacted by cancer. So I'm just going to give you a little introduction to our presenters, and then we will get started. We have Margaret Martin, who's an oncology nutrition educator at PearlPoint. She is a licensed dietitian and nutritionist, as well as a certified diabetes educator. She's worked in public health nutrition and WellPoint telephonic nutrition consultations and web-based nutrition education. We also have Tracy Rode. She is the Director of Client Services for PearlPoint, which gives her responsibility for all educational outreach to cancer patients, caregivers, and healthcare professionals. She is a member of the Cancer Patient Education Network, the Oncology Nursing Society, the American Society for Clinical Oncology, and the Cancer Coalition of Tennessee and Alabama. Tracy is a cancer survivor herself and a longtime volunteer in cancer advocacy organizations. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Tracy and Margaret. So just one moment. So Tracy, if you would like to take it away.
Are you seeing my screen?
Yep, everyone should be seeing Tracy's screen now. Yep, you're all set.
Okay, fantastic. Elizabeth, thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be able to talk to this audience. We've been working with NeedyMeds for a long time and are so grateful for the support that organization gives to so many patients, and through them we're able to help a lot of people negotiate some of the tougher financial difficulties of cancer treatment. We are PearlPoint Cancer Support. And maybe the mouse, there we go. Just want to quickly give you an overview of our organization and then introduce you to My PearlPoint, which is our website that's more or less a patient portal for educational information. And then Margaret is going to talk to you about some of the nutrition considerations that people face during cancer treatment. Now, we're going to present this information talking to patients and really addressing those of you who are on the call who may be going through treatment and needing help with some of those side effects. But please know that we are able to tailor our presentations for healthcare professionals and for caregivers, and that we have information available through My PearlPoint for everyone. And then we'll entertain some questions. Okay. Our mission is to create a more confident cancer journey for adults anytime and anywhere. We are headquartered in Nashville, Tennessee, and I know you guys are spread all over the place. We're having a beautiful but chilly day here, so I hope you're having a nice one as well. We have been around for 26 years. We've served patients, caregivers, and healthcare professionals with expert advice from professionals that they might not be able to access otherwise through our nutrition educators, social workers, registered nurses, the oncologists and researchers on our scientific advisory committee. We are a channel to that expert level of information that you might not be able to get otherwise, and you certainly could not get at 3 a.m. when you need to find something on the internet that you didn't remember to ask when you were at your appointment. What our thought was in creating my PearlPoint is that you don't know what you don't know when you're a newly diagnosed cancer patient. Sometimes you've had experience through a friend or family member and actually know the questions to ask, and sometimes you really don't even know where to start. So we've tried to give the ability to search for information as well as we've guided through certain sections, through certain aspects of the cancer journey, and all done with vetting from peers of the clinicians who have created the information, as well as our scientific advisory committee. We seek white coat credibility because you know if your doctors and nurses are giving you information that you can trust that, and we want to be that go-to resource for them, and in fact are for a number of providers. This is the homepage of my PearlPoint, and I hope you will all go sign up for a free account. It's really easy to register, and once you have registered, we can customize the information that we deliver to you. We can communicate with you, send you new information, and really tailor our advice to you to where you are in your journey. We have live chat available, which you don't see on the screen because it's just an image, but 9 to 3 Eastern time every day, you can actually click on a little icon and chat with someone, almost like texting them. Some people find that they're not able to get on the phone at work and ask someone about their cancer questions, so that's an option for you. So this page just shows you a little overview of what we have available and other ways that you can connect with us. This is our cancer education landing page. We've taken great care to provide information that is accessible to everyone. A lot of the information that we've created ourselves is at 4th to 6th grade reading level, which may sound like it's low and it's C-spot run, but believe me, when you're hearing some of these oncology terms for the first time, you will appreciate seeing things broken up into chunks of information that you can understand. We're using the National Cancer Institute's content as well to supplement what we've written ourselves to provide those basic overviews of cancer types and treatments. We have lots of different types of information that we provide. You all probably know someone who has a PhD in astrophysics, but they can't find their way to the nearest donut shop if someone isn't on the phone telling them. So in the way that people either need to read written instructions to find somewhere, or they want to look at a map, or they actually want to hear instructions, cancer patients are very much the same way. Their learning style just requires that they be able to see things in a different way, either with images or text or a video. So we're working to provide lots of different ways to give out the same information. This is our Nutrition and Cancer homepage, and I'm not going to go into this at great length because Margaret is going to take over in a minute and go over the section here on nutrition tips for managing side effects. We also have recipes. So we had holiday mocktails and all types of different things on here that can be useful. Meal suggestions, easy snacks that you can take to the infusion room with you, things that aren't going to have heavy smells if you're nauseated. So just a lot of really useful information. So this is the list of things that Margaret will be covering. I wanted to just really briefly show you that we have a clinical trial locator on here. The best way to take advantage of all the incredible breakthroughs that are going on in cancer research right now is through a clinical trial. Sometimes it takes drugs up to 7 years or even longer to get approved once they've gone through the clinical trial process. So when you hear about some of these great news stories where some drug has shown great promise, you may not be able to actually get that at your doctor's office unless you are participating in a clinical trial. And so what we've tried to do is provide an easy way to look at this and see the most important information, which including that phone number. If you don't have support from your medical team in trying to figure out which clinical trial may be right for you, it's a very difficult process. So we wanted to provide that information, and we can also help, and our contact information will be at the end. That is the profile page, the dashboard that you get when you create a login, when you sign up for a profile or register. So you'll see here this patient has breast cancer, so we're sending them very specific information. We have some useful documents on here, treatment log, side effects log, just so that you can have things to print out to really help you, or you can save them on your laptop or your mobile device. Lots to explore on that dashboard. We also have an app for iPhones, iPads. We also have Android, so it's on the Google Play Store, and it just helps reiterate a lot of the information that Margaret is going to give you today. We would love to have you download this. Just look for Cancer Side Effects Helper, and you'll get to it, and then please give us your feedback on that. Okay, I'm going to turn you over to Margaret right now, and we'll be back at the end of the presentation with some more answers to questions and invitations for you to interact with us.
Hi, this is Margaret Martin, registered dietitian. So glad to be with you all today. We're going to talk about two areas for nutrition. One is while you're in treatment, and the second is survivorship. So first, let's look about three areas that are very challenging while you're in treatment: the gastrointestinal or digestive tract, physical changes, and maintaining a healthy weight. Now, generally, there are 5 areas of gastrointestinal issues that we talk to clients most frequently about. So we'll look at these one by one quickly. Nausea and vomiting. Keep up with your anti-nausea medications. We encourage clients to download one of our forms about their treatments and symptoms and medications, and that's a great way to journal or log what's going on to see when your nausea occurs. Also, know your triggers for nausea. They usually arrive around aromas or smells, the way our lifestyle is, eating on the run, or our clothing, and can also be because, of course, the cancer or the treatment itself. So if you can, ask someone else to help you cook or to bring in takeout so you don't have to be around the hot aroma of foods if that's a trigger. Also, some people make a schedule for food guests that help spread out if several people are cooking for you. Know that if you eat 5 to 6 small meals or snacks a day, that helps your body have smaller nutrition frequently throughout the day, and often that improves digestion. Be cool. Wear loose clothes that doesn't bind around your tummy or midriff, and have a relaxing time at meals with low stress and maybe cooler temperatures. Choose foods that soothe. Ginger helps many people fight nausea, like ginger tea, ginger candy, ginger snaps, or cooking with ginger, whereas high-fat and spicy foods often aren't your friend. And also, don't overfill with beverages at meals because that can cause nausea. And if you do have episodes of vomiting, please go ahead and drink clear liquids to resolve that. Constipation. Constipation can lead to other nutritional issues like low appetite, poor food intake, and fatigue. So it's a very critical issue to manage. one way to think about constipation is what makes a healthy bowel movement, and that's usually a combination of having enough fluid and adequate dietary fiber. So, of course, we're going to suggest at least 6 to 8 glasses of fluid a day. Anything that melts at room temperature is considered a fluid or beverage. So even milkshakes, nutritious beverages, juices, and Jell-O are fluids. Some people don't think about drinking between meals or at nighttime, but that's a great time to get your fluid in. And most people can tolerate 25 to 35 grams of fiber each day. And at bedtime, that's a great time to have some extra fiber and fluid. And that way, when you wake up in the morning, often you'll have a regular bowel movement. So bran cereal with prunes is a great idea for a lot of people. Diarrhea is another high-risk nutritional area. Generally, we recommend people choose clear liquids every 2 or 3 hours and try to encourage their caregivers to have a variety of those on board, different flavors and types. Of course, in the juices, apple, grape, and cherry are more low acid, and they tend to work better than orange juice or some of our other sports juicy drinks. Then as you're feeling better, add back your crackers, your bland rice, applesauce, maybe ripe banana, toast, and soft foods. But do contact your healthcare professional if diarrhea persists. Gas and bloating is often something people don't admit readily, but can be a very limiting side effect of cancer and cancer treatment. Generally, we suggest people to avoid foods that can trigger bloating, such as the spicy foods, carbonated beverages like sodas, raw veggies, and acidic drinks. Some people can use carbonated beverages if they let them air out in a glass for 10 or 15 minutes and let some of the bubbly go away. Also, some people find if they have more fiber in their diet, that helps. Some people find they have to eat less fiber. And generally be more mindful about how you are eating. Try to slow down and eat slowly. Don't rush. Don't use straws. Drink from a glass or a cup. Don't chew gum, but maybe use mints instead, because chewing gum is kind of like using a straw. It introduces gas into our system. And try to stay as active as possible to aid in digestion. Lactose intolerance is a problem that's encountered sometimes in cancer because of the treatment or the cancer itself. Of course, being nutrition-minded, we want to encourage people to try to keep dairy in their diet if they can. They could use a lactose-free milk. They can use non-dairy milks like soy and almond. We do suggest they be calcium fortified. We can also look to see what their food likes are to see if they have other non-milk favorites that still have calcium in them, like our collards, broccoli, figs, tofu, sardines, and other calcium-fortified foods. And then ask your healthcare team if a over-the-counter medicine that has lactase in it, one that everyone probably has heard of is Lactase, to see if that would fit into your treatment plan. Next, we're going to talk about physical changes like difficulty swallowing, dry mouth, sore mouth, tongue, and throat, as well as fatigue. Difficulty swallowing, we usually look at 2 different areas. Change the way you prepare your food or change your food choices. So using a blender to soften your foods helps. Adding moisture to your foods, either with gravies, butter, sauces, melted cheese, helps. Avoiding foods that are caustic, like high-acid foods, such as orange juice, vinegar, tomatoes. They often sting and burn and make it worse. To keep veggies and fruits in your diet, we also always or frequently suggest canned fruits and vegetables or juices that are much easier to swallow. And try to avoid foods that are coarse or hard to eat unless you soak them first in a gravy. And notify your healthcare team if your difficulty swallowing persists, because that can be a sign that additional intervention may be needed. Dry mouth goes right along with difficulty swallowing. We kind of went through some of those before, but Good oral hygiene is very important. Letting your dentist know what's going on, and you may have to have more frequent checks. And I like the idea too to freeze some small pieces of fruit to suck on to give you extra moisture. Now moving on to sore mouth, throat, and tongue. We talked about that a little bit with difficulty swallowing. But your healthcare team may recommend a soft or a bland diet. It's important to use frequent small meals, especially if you're fatigued. That way you can eat more frequently throughout the day. Keeping protein in each meal and snacks helps to meet your extra protein needs. And don't be afraid to add extra moisture to your foods, like we said before. Sometimes people are reluctant to use gravy or sauces because they've been trying to control their weight and lose weight, but this is the time where you need to add extra moisture through sauces and gravies. And remember that cool foods often work better than hot foods, so that's a good idea as well. Fatigue, that's a very common complaint. One idea is to encourage people to keep on moving. Don't just sit down on the couch. Be social, try to ask for help, ask people to help you with your chores around the house, cleaning, preparing meals, grocery shopping, running errands. So then you can save your energy for eating. Don't go any longer than 4 or 5 hours without eating throughout the day, because regular meals and snacks means you're getting fuel throughout your day. And eat foods that provide energy. Avoid empty calories, especially those that may be expensive as well. And be sure to stay hydrated by drinking fluids throughout the day. Now let's look at maintaining a healthy weight. There are 3 aspects we wanted to review: feeling full quickly, loss of appetite, and weight changes. Feeling full quickly can be caused by many reasons, but one way to manage it is to try to be a mindful eater, which might mean slow down, sit and make every bite count, have a relaxing meal. Have 4 to 5 small meals a day instead of 3 large ones. Try to drink between meals and limit your mealtime beverages. That way your solid food with your high nutritional value will be hopefully better absorbed at mealtime. And again, watch those carbonated beverages. Sit there full of gas, they can make you feel fuller too soon at mealtime. Loss of appetite is a big problem in cancer and cancer treatment. Be open with your healthcare team and ask your physician if you might benefit from an appetite medication or stimulant. If you're a caregiver, one way to rephrase what you ask the cancer survivor is maybe, what can you eat for energy, or what can you eat now? Sometimes when we're caring for folks with cancer, how we phrase things kind of makes the appetite less, I guess you'd say. Don't forget about your nutritious beverages. They have high nutrition for a very small volume, 6 to 8 ounces. Those could be milkshakes. They could be commercial products like Ensure or Boost or Carnation Breakfast Essentials. They all come in Ensure Plus for high calories, like Boost Plus, Ensure Plus. And make mealtime a happy time or relaxing time. And stay active, because that helps us have a more normal appetite. Weight changes. Cancer treatment is not the time to lose weight. It's counterproductive with your treatment. So try to stay at your current weight during treatment. And if you have a loss of more than 5 pounds, that is a nutrition issue. Please share it with your healthcare team. Supplement your meals if you need to gain weight with nutritious beverages or sauces, margarines, gravies, and cheese. And talk to a registered dietitian if you have questions or need help. Okay, just a couple of areas we want to touch on in survivorship are the long-term nutrition effects of cancer, returning to a healthy weight, and positive changes for overall well-being, better health. In survivorship, you know that treatments and cancer does have long-term effects on our taste, digestion, smell, neuropathy, which we also know is nerve damage. Can also cause edema or fluid retention, and definitely we hear a lot of complaints about fatigue. When you're thinking about a healthy weight in survivorship, think about small, achievable changes or steps. They end up to your success. Talk to your healthcare team about medications that might have side effects of weight gain or weight changes. Choose healthy foods. Don't be afraid to experiment with some different foods. Be active. Try something new, a new sport or fitness activity if your doctor releases you for exercise. Keep realistic and stay positive, and consult a registered dietitian and programs in your area. Here at PearlPoint, we can help you locate those. And you're always more successful if you have a good support system. Some fun foods you might want to try that you haven't tried lately are fun for snacks or for meals as well. We have recipes on our website that you might want to check out as well. But hummus, fortified cereals, breads, and beverages let you get more nutrition in one serving. Greek yogurt has high protein, as does kefir drinks and cheeses. If you choose whole grains and pastas and cereals, if you choose them, look for whole grains on the package in your crackers, breads, pastas, and cereals. Combination foods give you 2 or 3 or more food groups in one food item, like a food parfait, a hearty soup, or casserole. Dips and spreads at snacks also help maintain your weight. And if you're on the go, think about taking muffins, wraps, or sandwiches with you, especially to appointments and treatments if you have to re-enter. So that concludes my presentation, and now I'm going to turn it back over to Tracy.
Just really briefly to tell you the ways that you can connect with us. We have my.pearlpoint.org, which is the website that we showed you before. The email address guidance@pearlpoint.org is an easy way to get to us, and the live chat that we described on the website. And then our toll-free number is listed there, and we're here during regular business hours, and you can get a hold of us, and we can try to do some research for you if we need to, or provide some information. We really focus on providing as much assistance as we can through My PearlPoint, but we are aware that not everyone has either the ability, the equipment, or the desire to spend a lot of time on the internet, so we want to be sensitive to everyone's needs and able to provide some information when we need to. Okay, Elizabeth, we're ready to answer some questions if we have some.
Okay, great. Please do start typing in any questions that you have. Before we get to the questions, I just want to remind everyone again that the video of this webinar will be available on the NeedyMeds website as well as on our YouTube page. You can, I believe, contact that guidance at pearlpoint.org for a copy of the slides, or you can also contact me as well. Either way, we will be able to get you a copy of the slides. And yes, please go ahead and start typing in some questions, and we will do a few questions and answer. So the first question we have is, what are some good sources of fiber?
All right. High fiber foods. Generally, there are foods that are not as processed as the other foods, but you can get high fiber breads now with 5 grams of fiber or more per slice. Whole fruits and vegetables with the peelings on are high fiber. Salads also. And let's see, some people need a fiber supplement, so sometimes we suggest that if that's needed, like Beneprotein, they make a fiber supplement called Benefiber. So I think fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Some cereals now have 15 to 18 grams of fiber per serving, but I would start with small servings of those till you get used to it.
Okay. So we have a question, I think you sort of answered this, but just to clarify, are there any costs involved for your services, and where does PearlPoint get its funding from?
Absolutely no cost ever. And we are completely funded by private donations. Throughout the years, we've made a lot of impact on individual survivors' lives and caregivers, and and some of those have been very generous with us, and some of those amounts were really big, and some of those amounts were really small. But we certainly appreciate everything. We, like most nonprofits, apply for grants and that type of funding, and we're always glad to receive corporate support and foundation support when we can get that. But again, it's all private donations, and everything is free.
Okay. Maybe also your hours for if people want to call or live chat. What are those hours?
Right now, we staff live chat from 9 to 4 Eastern Time, so that's going to be 6 to 1 Pacific Time. We always have the option of extending those hours. If we start getting a lot of calls from or emails from people on this webinar and we need to make some arrangements to be able to serve your needs, we can do that. But we are available to provide as much information as we can during those hours, and certainly get the research. There may be some questions that folks have related to a specific resource or a particular combination of nutritional issues that it may take us a day to get all the information collected for you, but then we can get that back to you.
Okay.
And then the website is available 24/7, 365.
Okay. And I think you mentioned this at the beginning of the webinar, but we do have a lot of healthcare professionals on today's webinar. Would you encourage them and the caregivers, maybe not necessarily the people with cancer, but the people helping them, to sign up as well? Do you think there's a lot of help out there if signing up for My PearlPoint as a professional?
Absolutely. In fact, we have a healthcare professional login now, so if you click to sign up for a profile, we have a special train of questions that we take healthcare professionals, so we'll know kind of who you are and what type of patients you're serving, so that will help us communicate better with you. We are in a huge mode of content development right now, and some of that has come from, frankly, we work with a lot of nurse navigators, and for you patients who may not know what a nurse navigator does, they generally have a nursing degree and oncology nursing experience, but they also have a tremendous command of other resources and other information, as well as the ability to help the patient coordinate all of their appointments, all the different information that they require, and just many other things that help serve as a coordinating point for someone's cancer treatment and survivorship. So we have gotten great feedback over time on what types of things that they need. We've got one nurse navigator here in Middle Tennessee who actually pulls up our website on her iPhone and uses that as a teaching tool with patients. So we are able to not only help you find on our site what you need, but certainly able to help develop things that will work well for your patients.
Okay, thank you. I think
it's so much more fun to be a nonprofit. We can make decisions to do helpful things without a lot of bureaucracy. So it's very fun for us.
Good. Okay, I think we will go ahead and wrap up. So again, you can contact the guidance at PearlPoint if you have any more questions for our presenters or about PearlPoint, or if you'd like a copy of the slides. You will also be receiving an email coming from us here at NeedyMeds with contact information if you have any questions about NeedyMeds. You can always check back to our webinar page for future webinars. We hold our monthly webinars going over our resources, as well as these special topic webinars. We're always really excited to have an organization like PearlPoint on presenting information. At NeedyMeds, we strive to provide all the resources we know about that could help people with their medications and healthcare costs. But it's always great to provide information about an organization that's, giving people and healthcare professionals support like this. And, we can't necessarily go that level here at NeedyMeds. So we really appreciate all the work you're doing, and I hope this was an informative webinar for everyone and that you all have a wonderful day. So thank you very much.